podcast is powered by MonkeyKnifeFight.com.
Already.
Woo! Oh, we got everything you need on this one.
Eureka.
Hey!
We make plays every day, yeah. Yeah, we make plays every day.
We got the plug on this one.
Plays every day.
We got the line on everything.
Plays every day, yeah. We make plays every day,
Every day.
Yeah, we make plays every day.
We make plays.
We make plays every day. Plays every day,
Hey! Welcome to the Real Fantasy Playmakers. I am your host, Bogard Scott Free. And today, like I said in the intro, we got the line on everything you need because our special guest host for this episode is the Fantasy Football Plug. What's happening, Plugga?
What's good, baby? Yay.
Hey, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, partner. How you doing?
Man, couldn't complain. You know what I'm saying? I'm having a few beers. I got my joint rolled up. You know what I mean? We're about to have a good time here. You know what I'm saying?
Already, man.
On this episode, Playmakers, we're going to break down some bus candidates. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about some breakout candidates. And then my man Jay the Plug, you know what I'm saying? He is a diehard Saints fan. So, we're going to talk a little bit of Saints. But before we get to all that, we're going to handle some quick housekeeping. Go ahead and follow me on both Twitter and IG at the GMM Network. You can go ahead and also follow me on IG at Bogard Scott Free World. And be sure to subscribe to the GMM Network on YouTube. Hit that notification, hit that like. You know what I'm saying? To spike that like, I should say. You know what I'm saying? And go ahead, drop a comment. You know what I mean? Also, check me out with the rest of the Run Boys. Shout out to the gang on the Run Boys Fantasy Network on YouTube. Subscribe to that joint too. Also, if you want to check out all the latest and greatest articles that the Run Boys have to offer, covering all sports isms, go ahead and check out therunboys.com. That's Run Boys with a Z. You know what I'm saying? Also, want to shout out our sponsor, Milk and Honey TX. For all your CBD wellness and all your CBD goodness, visit milkandhoneytx.com. And like you heard in the intro of this joint, this podcast is powered by Monkey Knife Fight. Go ahead, head on over to monkeyknifefight.com. Use promo code GMM, and we'll match your first deposit all the way up to $50 for all you daily fantasy sports nuts like myself. And you want to get in on this prop action, use promo code GMM, and we'll match your first deposit all the way up to $50. Baseball's in full effect. Basketball's in full effect. Football's round the corner. Hey, get in on this action. Monkey Knife Fight, give me money. Hey, Plug, let them know where they can find you and the podcast.
Bro, I don't even know how I'm going to follow that, man.
Hey, I do this every intro. It's like, I got to. Got to handle the housekeeping.
Dope, man. That's dope. Head over to Instagram, of course. Look up the Fantasy Football Plug, the FF Plug. I'm on the IG. I've got Twitter. Don't really mess with Twitter too much, but that is the FF Plug as well. Go on to YouTube. I just started my YouTube channel with some of these interviews that I've got going on there and dropping. And that one is the Fantasy Football Plug. I always try to make sure I get the Fantasy Football Plug because I am the plug.
Oh, he's the plug. I'm telling you, he's the guy. You know what I'm saying? When people look for something and they talk to Bogard, you know what I tell them? I know a guy. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
When they looking for something, I say, oh, you know what? I know a guy. I know the plug. You know what I'm talking about?
That's what's good, bro. Seriously. That's what I am, man. I'm the plug, baby. I get you what you need when you need it.
You know what I'm saying? We got everything on deck. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Okay, so check this out, Playmakers. We're going to go ahead and get you a little more familiar with the plug. You know what I mean? And so, if you may, go ahead and let them know a little bit about yourself, where you're from. And I definitely want to hear the origin story of how this whole thing came about. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah, man. Well, I'd like to say it all started when I was just a little plug growing up, but it really started more.
A lowercase plug? He was a lowercase plug.
Lowercase plug, man. Getting you a little of what you need, not all of it. But I had my grandfather, when I was growing up, I was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yep.
And
shout out to the Big Easy.
Yeah, baby, go Tigers. So we, as growing up, you know, we were Saints fans, and I even have the little bag with the eye slots cut out. So, you know,
Yeah.
we were repping whenever we were kids, man. But we were real big into football as I was growing up. Little baseball, played it more than watched it. Big time basketball, almost played it in college. But I started the plug when I got furloughed from work. With all the stuff going on, they had some layoffs, but luckily, I was blessed enough to just get furloughed. So I was talking to my wife. Shout out Mrs. Plug.
Yep. Big up to Mrs. Plug. Hey, behind every good plug is a good woman. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, much better than me, bro. I outkick my coverage, man. But she's been behind me this whole time and told me why not go for it. And, you know, I've always wanted to do a podcast about fantasy football because I've been obsessed with fantasy football since I can really remember.
Hey, I don't mean to cut you off, right? But so my girl, Mrs. Bogard, she actually said this to me today. She goes, because she'll listen to my joints, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, she was like, it's so like she was listening to the Heart to Start episode. Shout out to the Heart to Start boys. I just had them on, and so I'm editing the episode earlier today, and she's listening, and she's like, it's so crazy that there's other nuts for fantasy football just like you out there in the world. I'm like, baby, they're everywhere. You know what I mean? But yeah, continue.
Oh yeah, for real, man. We're trying to get a piece of that pie.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, she's been behind me this whole time. She told me to give it a shot, and I started it. And you know, I've just always had this love for fantasy football. Never really, I'll be honest, I've never really gotten into fantasy baseball or basketball.
Me either.
I thought about getting into basketball, but I just can't. I don't know, man. Football is a whole different thing for me. It just became an obsession. And one thing I realized is that it made me a bigger fan of the rest of the league. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you ain't lying.
Yeah.
Like, I actually love every team and what they got to offer. Obviously, I'm a diehard Niner. Obviously, you're a diehard Saint. But like, it just gives you an appreciation and an affinity for these other teams and players. You know what I mean?
100%. And that's, you know, I've in doing one of my interviews, one of the guys I spoke with, he never really fucked with. Oh my bad! Can I drop that?
Of course, man. This is an explicit.
Right. I was
this is
an
explicit show. You know what I'm saying? We saying all kind of shit and fucking bitch and ass, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is not for the children's.
I saw.
This is not for the lowercase plugs.
I saw it on
you know
YouTube. I saw it on the YouTubes, and I was just making sure. So he didn't really fuck with fantasy, but he mentioned that he loved anything that brought anybody to the game. And, you know, made fans of anybody. And I've talked to him. I've been trying to get him into a league. I don't know if you saw the interview with Marcus Allen.
Yep. Did. Legend.
Yeah, bro. I keep trying to get him to come into a league. I was texting with him today, and he was like, man, I just don't know if I can do it. I said, but.
Yo, did we lose him? Plugga.
You on IG.
Oh, there you go.
And what's up?
No, my bad. Your reception kind of cut off a little bit there, but no, but you back.
Oh, my bad. So I'm trying to get him to get into one of these leagues, but kind of, you know, he can disguise his name if he wants.
My bad, Plug. You're kind of cutting in and out there.
I'm trying to talk him into it. So, Marcus, if you're listening, man, he told me any interviews I do or anything, he wants me to send them to him so he can hear them and give me feedback. So, if you listen to this, partner, we're rooting for you to get into one of these leagues, bro.
Yeah. Tell him, do it to spite Al Davis. How about that? You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, yeah. For real.
Tell him Al Davis would hate it, and he'll be like, all right, sign me up.
But yeah, man.
Rest in peace to Al Davis, though. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, whatever, man. No, I'm just playing now. R.I.P., of course. R.I.P., of course, man. That dude had the craziest teeth, bro.
He sure did.
Dude, I mean, I didn't know. I mean,
all the monies. All the monies in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't think he would straighten up your grill. I mean, bro,
yeah.
I mean, that's crazy, man. I mean, it's everything going which ways. I mean, you look like you opened cans with those things.
I probably did, though.
But yeah, man, anyway, getting back to it, my bad. I didn't mean to trail off.
It's all good. I tend to do that a lot. Don't worry.
I've been a fantasy football fan since I can remember. And I've always wanted to do something with it. Of course, you always hear if you do something that you love, you never work a day in your life. So,
yeah, man. I think
That's what
I
I'm
kind of
trying to
texted
get
you
to.
something earlier today along those lines where it was like, man, I was like, it's kind of unfair, like, because we love what we do. You know what I mean?
You did. Yeah, you did. I was looking through it right now, just trying to find it.
Yeah, man. I love what we do, man. This is incredible. Like I'm sitting here talking to the plug, man. It doesn't get no better. But yeah, continue.
My man, the pleasure's all mine. Seriously, dude. I've been a fan of yours since I got on IG. I think you're one of the first people I really started following on there.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I mean, and you know, I actually caught wind of you. Shout out to the bros, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Fornicator. Shout out to Sweetness, Doc PLC, Renegade. You know what I mean? I heard you on their show, and I was like, oh man. And then I go follow you, and I'm like, oh, I'm following them already. You know what I mean? I was like, awesome. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, and I've been captivated ever since, man. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, likewise. Feeling is mutual. Yeah, those shout out to Bears, Brews, and the Bros, man. Bear down for them boys.
Yeah.
Kills me saying it, but you know, for those dudes, happy to do it. They were the winners of the plug giveaway, the plug custom the trophy.
Oh yeah, I seen that. You're
Bro,
right.
No lie, I ordered a trophy thinking it was gonna be like beast mode. It's no bigger than a fucking monster can, so we had to order a new one. We ordered a new one. We're waiting for it to come in, but I've got a pretty dope idea I'm going to do for them. Being based in Chicago, I'm either going to do the bright orange all over it, and then do the, you know, like on the Jordans where they have the elephant print.
Yeah. Ooh.
I'm going to do that all over in the opposite color, where there's going to be navy blue or the orange. I think I'm going to do all navy blue and then do the orange elephant print all over it.
Ooh, that would be nasty.
Yeah,
Love it.
And then I'm going to put their logo and stuff on the sides of the football at the top, because it looks like the Lombardi trophy.
Man, you are the plug, man. You know what I'm saying?
I try to do what I can do when I can do it.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you know, the world's a better place with the plug in it. You know what I mean?
Man, I appreciate you, bro. My mom would say the same thing.
Yeah, shout out to our moms. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shout
Mama
out to Mom
plug.
Dukes.
Yeah, shout out to Mom Dukes. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
But yeah, so basically during quarantine, you know, as they would say, they gave us lemons, and you basically made lemonade.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I'd put it, man. That's exactly how I'd put it.
Hey, man, it's a blessing in disguise, right? Like, you know, you got the furloughed, and you was like, you know, fortunately, you know, in some unfortunate times, you know what I'm saying? We all had a little more time on our hands. I mean, even me myself, I was able to like really turn up the volume on the features, because now people were readily available. You know what I mean? So it was like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, and Brett, bro, like, I'm already naturally a recluse. Like, I'm always in, you know, my history in being a sound engineer and a music producer, artist, etc. Right? I'm always in some dark room with no windows. You know what I mean? So it was an easy transition. You know what I mean, to do these podcast shit. You know what I mean? And I'm just,
for sure.
I love talking to people, hearing their story, because, you know, not only is your content great, but like, you know, being able to identify with the people delivering the content. That's what the Real Fantasy Playmakers is all about. And like, you know, one thing that I wanted my show to be is like, if people will tune in and they, you know, they enjoy the guest, you know, that's what I wanted, them to discover other great talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm I. You know what I mean? I'm not the most arrogant person in the world.
You being all humble and shit.
Yeah, I know, right? You know what I'm saying? And trust me, it's hard for me not to feed my own ego. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, but you know, but you know, because I am an artist and Bogart Scott Free. It's really me. It's not. It's technically not an alter ego. So you know what I mean? Like, this is me, like off script. I'm the same, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
man.
I just love. I love. You know, I think one of my talents is being able to call a spade, and you know what I mean. I think you're great. That's why we're here. You know what I mean? That's why we're doing this right now.
Man, that's high praise coming from you, bro. Seriously, no bullshit. That means something to me a lot. And I want to bring it back to something that you said just a minute ago. When you said it's you, just turned up a little. That's exactly. You look at The Rock, bro. Look at The Rock. Look at Stone Cold Steve Austin. Look at Sean Higginbottom. Excuse me. AKA Shawn Michaels. Look at Mark Calloway, AKA The Undertaker. I'm saying,
hey, man, you're listing up all my heroes, by the way. You know, I'm a big wrestling fan.
I was a pro wrestler for 10 years.
Yeah, man. You know what? touch on that a little bit, but continue.
Oh, there's nothing much to, man. It was more indie stuff than anything. I met some cool people, but that's how you know. That's how you really you can make your that's how you can make it really. I mean, it's for lack of a better way of explaining it. But I mean, look at The Rock. It's his persona just turned up just a little bit, just enough to where it gets attention. Like, you get attention, man. Whenever you speak, I realized the first time I really got to kind of know you was during that draft.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I fucks with this guy. He's cool as hell. Like, I couldn't wait to get on your show. Whenever you said you wanted me on the show, I was like, oh, shit, man.
I think it was like 10 seconds in. I was like, Plug, I got to get you on. Like,
dude.
You know what I mean? I was like, yo.
Man, I was flattered.
I was like, I fuck with you, bro. Like, even when, when we did, we basically cut wrestling promos during that shit, remember?
Mm-hmm.
That was great, man.
Dude, that was fun. Yeah, I'm sitting at work, walking around, and my boss is looking at me through the window, and I'm like, "Damn, bro, I gotta sneak away so I can do this for you."
Yeah,
it was one of the weakest promos I think I've ever cut, man. But I had to do it.
Yeah, man. No, I thought it was awesome. I mean, it was like I was close. First of all, full disclosure, I was full on Luigi. That's one of my AKAs. Because, I be on mushrooms, and I was definitely shrooming, and I swear it was Hulk Hogan. I was like, and even at one point, then it morphed into Ultimate Warrior at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
my guy, man. He's in my top 10, bro. Ultimate Warrior, bro, man.
Oh, yeah. Even for the small sample size, he's definitely in my top 10.
Oh, yeah, man. That dude would do it, just rip a line of coke and take off.
Yeah. He's so weird. Oh, man.
Okay. When he dusted Honky Tonk Man, that wasn't supposed to go down that way.
Oh, word. So he wasn't supposed to put him over?
He was, but not like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because, he was like, I like to call Ultimate Warrior like the Mike Tyson of pro wrestling, because everything was like 10 seconds flat. You know what I mean?
Yep. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, Honky Tonk Man. I mean, first of all, terrible gimmick, right? But you deserved it, man. You had it coming, Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah, that was trash. They gave him that Intercontinental Championship for way too long, and they realized, and they said, "Oh, we got this new dude who looks like an '80s punk rocker with more muscles than he knows what to do with. We're gonna let him squash you."
And he's from parts unknown. You know what I'm saying?
Parts unknown.
Yes.
Shit, bro.
There he is again.
Go upon the
Playmakers.
Warriors.
I think I might have to put featuring the Plug and Ultimate Warrior on the description now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
And see, that was him just clearing the drip too. That wasn't even part of the gimmick. He was just like, you know what I mean? Yes, I mean, allegedly, Playmakers, allegedly. But yeah,
allegedly.
So before we move on, I need to know, man, what was the finishing move? What was the Plug's finishing move? And what was your wrestling handle?
Well, my wrestling handle was just my real name. That's just what it was. They tried so many different things. They tried going with Atlas and all this crap, and I was just like, nah, I'm just not feeling it. So they just used my real name, and it picked up from there. Man, I was a big fan. Like, when I got into it, of course, I was real big into old school stuff like Ultimate Warrior and stuff, and just dominating. But because I was, I'm 6'6". Right now, I'm 262 pounds. Back then, I was like maybe 280, 285.
Oh, wow.
And I wasn't fat. I was fairly lean, so they wanted to use my gimmick as, kind of a Batista type dude who would just come in and just crush people.
Yeah.
But I actually, I was obsessed with the craft. So I would do, God, what do they call them? The pyramid rolls. I would get on the rope. They didn't want me to do anything off the top rope because I was too big. It didn't make any sense. So, but I went to Booker T, just kind of give you an idea of how obsessed I was with it.
Yeah.
I went to go train for and with Booker T to be in his show in Houston, Texas.
Five time. And yes.
When we worked, you had to work with another wrestler, but there was nobody else there. I was dead last. So I did a match with the quote unquote Invisible Man. And I think because in wrestling they call each other workers. You know, you got jobbers, you got workers, and all that.
Yep.
Well, when I worked a match without anybody in there, you
essentially got to sell it. Hold on, we lost him again. Yo.
want it to be a show. They want it to be extravagant. So, you know, if you get billed across the room, which that is, they grab, you know, say they put you in the corner, then they grab you underneath your armpit and they chuck you to the other side of the ring, catty corner.
Yeah.
You know, you'll see the guy like do a roll and like really fly across. So you throw yourself.
Yeah.
So I basically.
So you would sell it.
Like,
you would sell it. Like,
that's it.
Yeah, you would sell it with no one there, and then that actually makes you a hell of a worker.
Yeah, and I could jump, so I got choked at the very end, and he's like, Booker T was like, bro, I've never seen anybody like do something like that, and then all of a sudden, you know, you lost against nobody, and I'm like, oh. I'm like, and he kept talking about that, and I'm like, dude, I meant to do that. Like, I'm looking at him like, for real, bro? Do you really think that I lost to fucking nobody? I'm like,
I was fighting the Invisible Man.
Yeah. I was like, you think I'm gonna beat the Invisible Man? I can't see the motherfucker. But he liked it. He liked it a lot, and there's a tape somewhere in the archive, man. They used to have a bunch of stuff on YouTube, and then they took it down because I didn't have rights. So even though it was my name.
Oh wow. Hey man. Yeah. Booker T, man, Booker T seems like a guy I would have beers with.
He very much, man. He was really, really cool.
Yeah,
really,
man.
really cool, man.
The Spinner Rooney.
Nice guy. The Spinner Rooney. That dude could dance, bro.
Oh
like,
yeah, man.
It was insane, like how good he could dance, like pop and lock like a motherfucker.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it was nuts. It was crazy. At the end of practicing and into training, he would have like no shit. He'd go out in the middle of one of the 8 rings he had in his warehouse, and set up a whole boombox and just go ham.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, man, he was one of my favorites, bro. Like in the WCW days, I loved Harlem Heat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I as a kid too, you know, because I had family from the East Coast. Like, you know, I used to always laugh to myself, like, "Damn, these guys are clearly from the South," but they gave them the Harlem Heat gimmick, and like. Yo, that flying missile drop kick, like, oh man, yeah, him and what was it, Bubba Ray? What was his partner's name? I can't remember. Oh man, I feel terrible calling myself a wrestling fan. I can't remember.
No. Don't worry about that, man. I was more into WWE or WWF at the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me too, man. Like, bro, like I grew up, man. My favorite, bro, hands down, growing up as a kid, and I used to argue with my dad. Because my dad would be like, why are you watching these guys in their underwear? It's a ballet. And I'd be like, no. He'd be like, it's not even real. And I was a wee tyke. And I'd be like, it's so real, Dad. Look at, because Bret Hart, bro, he used to sell it to me so good.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The excellence of execution, bro. Like, he was fucking phenomenal. You know what I mean?
Yep. Stevie Ray.
There you go. I was right with the Ray part. I was like, I knew Bubba Ray didn't sound right. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Bret Hart was incredible. He was one of the first I actually got to see live because, I mean, I'm from Baton Rouge, but, I mean, I've lived in Alaska for a little while, too.
Oh,
so
word.
whenever they came to my dad, it was one thing that my dad and I used to do. He would wake me up early as fuck on Saturday mornings because in Alaska, you know, wrestling would come on at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So he would wake me up. Every Friday night, I would set up a tent downstairs in the living room, and he'd wake me up, and we'd watch this big-ass tube screen TV.
Yeah.
And Coco Beware was my shit.
Oh, Coco Beware. Yeah, that was Owen Hart's partner at one point, too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, like the 80s wrestling, you know, I was born in the 80s, so I'm, you know, in the early 90s, I used to rent all the tapes. Just to catch up on, because when I discovered wrestling, it was probably like 91, and I was hooked. You know what I mean? I was just hooked, bro. Like, and I would ride my bike to the video store, rent a bunch of tapes. You know what I'm saying? In chronological order too. You know what I mean? I rewatched all the WrestleManias and all the. You know what I mean? Just it was awesome, dude. Like, it's so crazy that kayfabe is like a thing of the past because obviously
it's so funny to hear somebody say that.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm a nut, bro.
Awesome.
I speak the language, you know what I mean? Like,
that's what's up.
And like, you know, like It's you know who's another wrestling nut till this day? He's another dude out there. Shout out to Gemma the Icon. He's also part of the Rum Boys. But me and him, man, like we go on these wrestling tangents in the podcast, like kind of like what we're doing right now, where it's like this is definitely a fantasy football show. But listen, for one of my childhood loves, wrestling, we could always spare time for wrestling. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hey, Bo, you there, brother? You just broke out a little bit. My bad.
Oh, my bad. No, you know what? No, we back now. I got you in the same spot. I think it's it might be your reception cutting out a little bit because here and there you cut out, but you're fine. You're phenomenal now. We back.
There we go.
Yeah.
You're back.
Okay, so now before we get off the wrestling thing, like, you know what I mean? Just go ahead and fire. I know you mentioned a bunch of my favorites already in the Attitude Era. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, who, just real quick, man. Who all time? Who's your guy?
I'm gonna move somewhere so I can hear you. For some reason, it's breaking up really bad in here. Let me move out here.
All good.
Sorry, brother.
Nah, no problem.
All right. Let's see. I think this might be better here. All right, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. What was your question?
All right, so before we get on to the fantasy isms, right? All time. Let me know. All time favorite wrestler.
Let's see.
Should we do eras real quick? Should we go eras? Because then maybe not.
Hold on. Say that again. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's his house or what. But it's just breaking up bad.
Hey, you know what? Let's see here. Okay. How about that?
I can hear you now. I can hear you pretty good now.
Okay. Yeah, so just all time favorite wrestler.
Man, that's tough.
I know, this is a tough one.
I hate saying The Rock because that's so fucking obvious.
But he's a great choice though.
Well, dude, I mean, he's everybody's choice. It's just like you and I are realists. You know what I'm saying? We're truthers. So, you know, if we say it, we say it not just because he was in fucking Rampage. We say it because of the showmanship and the persona that The Rock is and his skill in the ring.
Yeah. And being a revolutionary, like him and Stone Cold, they revolutionized the babyface heel. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Like, there wasn't such a thing before that. You know what I mean?
You there?
Yeah. We're here.
There you go. I'm gonna have to say The Rock, bro. I mean, just the way that he does everything. I'm in on everything, bro. I mean, I love, and the Ultimate Warrior is a close number 2.
Yeah, man. And there, you know, also too, like there's such specimens, like obviously the Ultimate Warrior, you know, super bodybuilding looking motherfucker, but like The Rock too, just his athleticism and like just he's unrivaled when it comes to rocking that mic, bro. Like cutting those promos, you know what I mean? Like he's one of the most fabricated too. Like, you know, he spawned a bunch. Like shout out to The Miz, like The Miz. And The Miz is also a big fantasy football enthusiast too, but. The Miz, man, like he ripped off his whole thing from The Rock. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like The Rock, you know, and man, The Rock is just phenomenal, man. Okay, actually, got one more before we move on. And, and then I'll give you mine. Mine is definitely, man. It's Bret Hart, and a close second is Stone Cold, man, because I just love Stone Cold, man, because and before Stone Cold broke his neck, or Owen Hart broke his neck, Stone Cold was a hell of a technical wrestler, and then after that, he was just a full-on brawler, like because he couldn't do so much because of the injury. But yeah, man. Okay, before we move on, final one. What do you feel about John Cena? Because I couldn't stand him.
Nice guy, real nice guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll tell you, nobody gives him enough credit for how good of a worker he was,
and for that long too. Like he was longer than Hulk Hogan, longer than The Rock, longer his reign. Yeah.
When he was, and if you look back, whenever he was down in what was it, OVW, I believe.
Yeah.
The prototype. If you, this dude is, I mean, when it comes to just his brain and the way it works, it's just straight entertainment. His movies, no offense, Mr. Cena, fucking John, no offense, John, they suck anus. But as far as a worker, man, keep doing what you're doing. If people can hate on you all you want, who gives a shit? You're making that money.
Yeah.
Seriously. You're making that money and you're doing what you love. Just keep wrestling, bro. Or just fucking work in the back, man. Be Pritchard or something. Like, just, work in the back. Teach people.
I think he could help wrestle. That's a good point. I think he could really breathe life into wrestling if he was like some kind of behind the scenes guy. Maybe writing the matches, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, because I think wrestling is especially the WWE right now, it's kind of lackluster, or maybe they have too many mouths to feed where it's like it kind of waters the product down. Maybe I don't know, man. Maybe wrestling needs the plug. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, though, man. That one guy that I really, really love, and I just think he's this dude to me he deserves the belt for as long as he can hold it. Is Bray Wyatt?
Ooh, yeah, he's a bad motherfucker.
That dude is unbelievable. It's a waste. He's being wasted in today's WWE. It's a fucking shame. If he was in the Attitude Era, holy shit.
Yeah, man. You ain't lying.
He would have already been. Seriously, I mean, look at what this guy does. Like, everything he does, you sit there and watch. Like, I got out of watching wrestling for a while after. It's just like basketball. After I stopped playing in college, I couldn't watch the NBA.
Because it reminded you too much.
Until the Raptors, no lie, I could pay attention to it, but I couldn't watch an NBA game until the Raptors won the championship. It was that fucking long. Damn. Because I would sit there and tap my heel and stuff. Because, I mean, dunk contests, all that stuff. I loved playing ball. Loved it. And then playing in college fucking ruined it. Kids, if you're listening to this, go to college, have a good time if you want to. Fuck it. There's a way to make money without a degree. But if you go to school to play ball or something, make sure you go to school as well. I fucked off instead of doing that. But be that as it may, it turned it into a job, and I couldn't do it. And then, being a worker, wrestling, after I woke up at like 26 years old and I could barely move, man, it got to the point to where it was getting so hard because I was doing so many matches over and over and over.
Yeah.
But
so it started to affect that quality of life in that sense. It
really did. And, I loved what I was doing, but whenever you drive, 200 miles to go make $70 and then they try and fuck you out of half the money because somebody requested more money and stuff, and they try to.
Yeah, wrestling is a dirty game. Hold on. Yeah. No, you're back.
Speaking of, yeah, but I got to meet that asshole.
Yeah. Okay. Well, shall we? Should we get to it?
Cut everybody else's money in half.
Oh man. I mean,
he's a fucking asshole.
And it's crazy that I'm surprised these promoters even try these wrestlers, because it's like, man, these wrestlers, they could whoop your ass, promoters. You know what I mean? Hey, hold on, Plug. You're cutting in pretty severe there.
I did cage fighting for a couple years, and I'll tell you, I get the one thing I can say that I love about like cage fighters and stuff. They have respect for the craft and everybody who's in the ring, and they'll stop if something's wrong. I realized that it was something I might not be able to continue to do in wrestling, because I was wrestling a tag team called the Angola Express, and one of them was holding my arm off the side of the ring, and the other one was doing one of those, leg drops off the side like the Undertaker does.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have my arm turned the right way, and then it basically hyperextended my arm, my elbow, and it tore my tricep, and I had 18 minutes left in the match. And they said, if you want to get paid, you better finish. And I said, cool. So if I get my hands on these motherfuckers, they're done.
Yeah. He's like, I got one good arm, and I'm whooping that ass.
I'm saying, man, I'm going to use this one arm. They might fuck me up, but I promise you they'll remember I was there. So I'm chasing these assholes around the ring for a good 18 minutes, and then finish this. They were real apologetic and real cool, and I mean, after a little while, I get a level head, and I realize that
Yo, my bad, bro. Hey, you know what? How about this? Let's go ahead and can you hear me? Yo, Plugga.
What's up, man?
My bad. You were cutting in and out there, right there. Okay, so you said they were very apologetic about the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they were real apologetic. I realized, accidents happen, and something I pride myself on is I've got a lot of size to me, so if it ever got to it, I can throw it around a little bit. I, by no stretch of the imagination, think I can kick everybody's ass at all. But, something I pride myself on is I can slough it off pretty easily. My wife says it's one of her favorite things about me, but one of the most annoying things is that I can let shit go really quick.
But that's a great quality to have, though. You know what I mean? Because, on the flip side of that, holding a grudge is a terrible quality to have. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's actually, maybe your wife says that just because maybe she would like you to kick some more ass. Maybe how about that? You know what I mean?
Oh, dude. Well, she already knows if it comes to her, you're done. Anything else, I've got no issue. But if it comes to her, bro, you can say shit about my mom.
Bro, dude, in fantasy football, right? So actually, the Heart to Start guys said this. In fantasy football, right? They said in fantasy football, when wives and children, other than that, everything's free game. But wives and children are off the table. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. But speaking of fantasy football, this is a fantasy football show, right? And I ain't gonna lie, I was thoroughly enjoying, matter of fact, real quick, you remember when we were on that Zoom meeting and I was like, bro, you're a pro, you're a wrestler? I'm like, bro, I would love to bring you on my podcast and talk wrestling. And you're like, yeah, I'll come on there. And you're like, you don't want me to talk fantasy? And I'm like, do you remember that?
Yeah, I do, man.
Yeah, man. I'm like, but it was a must, man. I'm glad. That was great for the Playmakers because, like I said earlier, man, it's all about the Playmakers, my audience being able to identify, you know what I mean? And I know I got some wrestling Playmakers out there that I know they would appreciate knowing that, especially because wrestling is something that for pure entertainment, man, you guys are putting your bodies on the line and even the quality of life on the line, because I know that's gotta be a high for you, man. When you hear that crowd and you see those kids smile and that's gotta be unrivaled, man.
It was amazing, man. I'll tell you, I had the most fun when I was a heel. That was the best. The best part of it. And they wanted to, like I said, they wanted me to be kind of like a Batista. I'll drop it after this, but I had Saliva. I had this song, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. Yeah, I'm aware of this band. It started off with a high guitar riff, and then it goes, and then it's it just starts going off, and that was my entrance. And they made the music and the smoke and all that stuff for me. And when you come out, you hear that music starting before you walk out of that curtain.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of people say, behind the curtain and all that stuff, they're like, yeah, man, it's a high. No, seriously. You go blank. Everything that's happening, but it's just nothing else matters. It's just a fucking, whether it's 7 people, 70 people, or 7,000, it's unreal, dude. It's just so much fun. And then afterward, they wanted to try and keep kayfabe, but I just couldn't, man. If kids want to come take, pictures, autographs, anything, I could not turn anybody away. Because who the fuck am I to do that?
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And they're all there. My favorite thing was the heel thing. They would pay me to drive and go just talk on a microphone because that's what I would practice while I was driving in my car, talking shit in the mirror.
Nice.
That got to where I could cut a promo, at the snap of a finger. Now I'm out of practice, so I can't really do it. But that was what I got known for. And it's because of The Rock, because that was the main thing that, if you can talk on a microphone, you can be a half-ass worker and you still, you go everywhere.
Oh yeah. No, this is accurate. And that's the one thing too, I would feel like Bret Hart kind of lacked, you know what I mean? He was such a great worker, but his mic skills maybe not the greatest, you know what I mean?
Right.
Look here, Sean. You know what I mean? He had the Canadian accent. What's that about? You know what I mean? He was just it was laughable, but I loved him, and then as a wrestler, you know what I mean? But yeah, man. Okay, so check this out, Playmakers. We're gonna go ahead into this first segment, You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna talk about some bust candidates. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go one by one, and we'll go through each position. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and start at the wide receiver position. Who's a wide receiver in fantasy in 2020 that you think has some bust potential?
Oh man, I've got one that most people would completely shit on me for, but I'm gonna go with this cat. I think T.Y. Hilton's gonna bust.
Ooh, okay. Tell me why. Tell me why you think.
Well, okay. Hilton gained more than 1,000 yards in 5 of 6 seasons. Okay, with Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
All right. Jacoby Brissett comes in under center. Colts receivers got just 150 passes for 1,841 yards in a full season in 2019.
Wow.
That's it. Now, Phillip Rivers will create more short field opportunities, things like that, for deep play action games for Hilton. However, Hilton is injury prone. That is an actual term.
He sure is.
He is injury prone.
And it's soft tissue injuries where it's like this will fuck you up for weeks on end, like chunks of your there's only 13 weeks in a fantasy season, you know what I mean, a regular season, and like if you're missing your guy for 4 weeks, that sucks.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, the last season he played full 16 games, I think, was 2017.
Yeah, and I think that's when he got the 1,400 yards. Like he was the leading. He was the reception. Not the reception. He was the receiving yards leader that year.
Yeah, and it shows that. I mean, he's got the skills, but he just can't stay on the field, and that's my main thing. Like you'll listen to my podcast. You hear me say
2016. 2016, he was the leading the receiving yards. Yeah. Because 17,
right.
I think, that was the year when Andrew Luck they shut him down. Remember, they had to go ahead and trade for the grilled beef brisket, aka the meat slab. You know what I mean?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, Hilton's not really even a touchdown monster either, man. So I mean, unless he's getting catches and yards, I'm not taking any shares of T.Y. Hilton.
And you know what, too, Playmakers. This is one of those guys too that like he brings a value. You know, he is like a 5th rounder in 12-team redraft, but like don't let him be. If he's your number 3 receiver or maybe your flex, I would take a shot. But like I totally agree with you. There's too many question marks with his injury history, and we don't even know if he's gonna have rapport with Phillip Rivers, and it is a run first team. You know what I mean? So
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I got one. The guy I got is also a member of the soft tissue injury gang, and it's Stefan Diggs. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
I mean, here's the thing: is like he played indoors. You know what I mean? And now he's gonna be playing outdoors, in one of the coldest places, like on a run first team, and he comes from a run first team in Minnesota, and like he was very efficient last year. You know what I mean? And efficiency is one thing that's hard to replicate. And then same thing with T.Y. Hilton. He does come out of value, but you got a guy like Josh Allen, who I actually call the white Cam Newton, because like Cam Newton, he has a big arm. He is wildly inaccurate. And like Stefan Diggs, although I do call Stefan Diggs the poor man's Antonio Brown because of his route running skills, I just think he's with the off chance that he'll get single coverage, because not the off chance, there will be plenty of times he gets single coverage because you're going to need to commit a safety in the box to spy Josh Allen because he is mobile, but I mean, if you look at, not only is he a soft tissue injury waiting to happen, you look at the amount of cornerbacks the level of quarterbacks, the caliber of cornerbacks, I should say. Like, he's going to play against Xavier Howard twice. He's going to play against Stephon Gilmore twice. He's going to play, and this season, he's going to play against the NFC West. So he's going to play up against Jalen Ramsey. He's going to play against, Richard Sherman, who he did burn in the playoffs, but still, Richard Sherman's still nothing to sneeze at. Then he's also going to play against Patrick Peterson, who is elder, but still phenomenal at the position. You know what I mean? And I'm just, when I look at that schedule, I'm totally off Stefan Diggs. I think he's going to bust.
I understand where you're coming from there for sure. I've tried not to. I used to let schedule hinder my decisions in fantasy, but I've seen that completely go out the window. It all just depends. But you're absolutely right about the outside play. Now, whenever he was with Minnesota, they would do a lot of practicing outdoors in the snow and the cold just to kind of get ready for other teams that they're playing outside. Now, the one thing I can say with Stefan Diggs is I know he's playing some awesome corners, but if you watch any of his highlights, anything like that, which, it's completely up to whatever you want to take from it. He's got the highest percentage, and this is what I say about him every time anybody talks about him, highest percentage of caught contested passes since 2017 of any receiver.
I wasn't aware of that.
62.1%.
Wow.
The highest of anybody since 2017.
And anything over 40% is phenomenal, let alone 61%.
Unreal, right? Whenever I saw that, I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah,
but sure enough, man.
You got my eyebrows raised a little bit.
I'm saying, man, I like Stefan Diggs. I understand where you're coming from. However, I can see why anybody might be a little bit spooked from him. But if it comes down to T.Y. or Diggs, I'm all over Diggs. I'll take Diggs over T.Y. Hilton.
Hey, you know what, though? I tend to agree with you on that. If there's a gun to my head, I'm probably going Diggs, because I do call him the poor man's Antonio Brown, because his route running is crispy.
That's a great way to describe him.
Because they comp in a skill set, and like obviously Antonio Brown's he's like a generational talent, but I mean just when you if you were to take the name off and you just looked at the way they run the full route tree, like he reminds me of Antonio Brown. You know what I mean? I think,
for sure.
I think I might be buying into the fact that I respect a lot of those guys, like an Xavier Howard or a Stephon Gilmore or Jalen Ramsey or
rightfully so. You should.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay,
that's a big deal, man. That's big facts.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead on to let's go on to running back, because this one was kind of tough for me. So I'm curious to see who you feel that could bust at the running back position.
You're gonna get some comments on this one, huh?
Oh, let's go, Plug.
All right, man. Nick Chubb.
Oh, I love Nick Chubb. Okay, go ahead.
I know you do.
Yeah, I love him. Okay, I need to hear this.
Now, okay, Chubb is a fucking beast. I'll give him that. If he's alone, okay. It's one name. Everybody knows where I'm going. It's Kareem Hunt. That's the only look. If you listen to my podcast, I constantly say I enjoy drafting a running back, tight end who doesn't have to share the position.
Very true. This is accurate. I've heard you say this.
Yeah, and everybody has to share, quote unquote, the position, but not like Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt can carry a team on his own.
Yeah, we've seen it too.
Oh, dude, he's a fucking beast. I mean, granted, what he does in his personal life has nothing to do with fantasy. So I mean,
whatever. We don't subscribe to his off the field antics, but as a player, phenomenal.
100%. And I'm not anybody to judge, but whatever. The guy can play ball. I mean, he's an unbelievable receiver. I mean, he's the total fucking package when it comes to a running back, and he can carry a team on his own. And I think Stefanski is going to get him more involved. I really do.
So here's my thing: why I'm not really afraid of Kareem Hunt, because Stefanski, if he's going to implicate what he did with Minnesota, 22 touches a game is what Dalvin Cook averaged, and then Alexander Madison, he averaged about 8 to 10 touches a game. Maybe obviously Kareem Hunt is clowning the fuck out of Alexander Madison. So and they even came out and said they're going to use Kareem Hunt in different facets. But
that's what I'm getting to.
Yeah, and so it's maybe I should temper my expectations a tad with Nick Chubb, but I also think it could be just my affinity for him as a player. I'm such a Nick Chubb truther, and being they were 19th in rush attempts last season, behind one of the lowest ranked offensive lines, and they bring in Jack Conklin, you know what I'm saying, who's kind of a spoiler alert for my bust, right? They bring him over from Tennessee, and then they go ahead and draft Jedrick Wills, and these are some athletic linemen, because you're gonna need that for that zone run scheme. I actually like the fact that Kareem Hunt exists, because that could preserve Nick Chubb, for the long haul and the type of workload they're going to give him. And even if it is only 18 touches a game or 18 carries a game for Nick Chubb, and maybe he doesn't get used in the passing game as much as I would want. Nick Chubb still he can run routes. He's not like a Derrick Henry who really doesn't have route running skills. Yeah, route tree is really just you hit him with a slant and he's gone. You know what I mean? Because of his yeah, man. You know what, Kareem Hunt. If he wasn't so goddamn expensive, he would be one of those guys that I would love to have both him and Chubb because I would start them both. And if anything happened to Chubb, Kareem Hunt is the guy.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
I'd be going after Kareem Hunt in these drafts because I think he's just more of a value, which, I mean, anywhere Kareem Hunt, like if Kareem Hunt goes to the fucking Saints. I'm a huge Kamara fan, of course, not just being a homer. I just think he's going to
because Kareem Hunt, Alvin Kamara is the joint. He's the truth.
I'm saying. But if you had Kareem Hunt behind him, you would even look at like the value of Kareem Hunt over Alvin Kamara because Kareem Hunt's going, almost two rounds after him. Yeah. Like whoever it is. Even with McCaffrey, bro, and I know this might sound crazy, but even with McCaffrey, you look at the value of Kareem Hunt and what he can do. But I think you're right, man. I mean, I'll give it to you. Your argument right there is probably the best one I've had that has actually made me think, you know what? Maybe Chubb's not going to be that much of a bust. And that's a lot. That's saying a lot. But
also, too, a definition of and I appreciate that. But a definition of a bust, too, could be where you're drafting him. Like because maybe because he is an early second round, back of the first round guy, Nick Chubb. So it's like, if he's not, you're basically drafting him at his ceiling. You know what I mean? So and if he doesn't, and so by definition, if he doesn't finish as an RB1 or a top 12, that's a bust at where you drafted him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's I try to post that a bunch, man. A bust. The definition of a bust is if somebody does not finish at their ADP or better.
Yeah, and so which segues me to my running back bust is Derrick Henry, because the fact that he lost. Like, okay, Derrick Henry's like a mid first round guy, back of the first round guy, right? And like, I mean, obviously, I know you can agree with this. We are some PPR motherfuckers. You know what I mean? If you're playing, if you're playing standard, still playmakers, reconsider your fantasy life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
take a good long look.
Yeah. So I will say, like, Derrick Henry, you're gonna have to rely on his efficiency in the passing game. However, if you give him more passes or more targets, he's gonna, that's gonna, it'll justify where he's going. But and I know he's gonna get 24 carries a game, but I think that loss of Jack Conklin, like, cause if you look at Jack Conklin, when Derrick Henry was running to that right side in zone run schemes, he averaged like 8 yards a clip, and like, I think that's a big deal, losing that type of offensive lineman. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm reading into it too much, but you know what I mean? I mean, I think finishing in the top 12, maybe even if he finishes 13, I still would be like, he busted where you drafted him. You know what I mean? And maybe that's nitpicking, but also, I did have a couple honorable mentions that I wanted to go with, but I wanted to shock the world by saying Derrick Henry. But honorable mentions, or even the guys I really wanted to go with, before I said Henry, was Lev Bell, David Johnson, and Todd Gurley. Like, those three guys really make me scratch my head. You know what I mean? Because the value could blind you. But like I you know what I mean? But yeah, especially Lev Bell. Like, Lev Bell, I have such an affinity. He's part of my fraternity. Loved him for years with the Steelers, but Adam Gase is just such an idiot. And then they bring over Frank Gore. You bring over a guy like Frank Gore, man, and I feel like Adam Gase didn't bring him in for no reason. Like, he's gonna eat into some of those carries, man.
100%. You did, man. Again, that's another thing. If you hear me on my podcast or see what I post, I fucking hate Adam Gase. Yeah. I hate Adam Gase. I love doing these interviews, man. If I get an opportunity to do interviews with pros or legends or anything, if Adam Gase called me and said, "Hey, you want to do this interview?" I'd say, "Go." fuck yourself. Dude, I'm sorry. I just can't fucking stand him. I can't stand him.
Me
And
neither, man.
my dream is to one day work for the NFL or something in this kind of aspect in what you and I are doing right now, but actually making money from it. If this hurts that, fine, fuck it. I can't take it back. I hate that motherfucker with every.
Personally
hate is
too,
a huge
because
word. I gotta stop because it's so evil to say that. But I see his face and I want to fucking I just want to put one of these. I'm clenching my fist. I want to put one of these right in the middle of his fucking suck hole.
I bet you every coke dealer loves him though.
Well, man, I mean,
because that guy looks like he is on one. Man, this guy.
Well, always look like he's surprised.
Yeah, I like that. We'll go with your version. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's go ahead on. Let's head on over to the tight end position. Who you got for me?
Well, this guy is somebody that I just cannot. I figured anybody who picked him up off the waiver wire last season got really lucky with him. And I'll be honest, I got kind of pissed off at myself for not scooping him up.
I think you might be on my guy right here. Let me go ahead.
Is that Tyler Higby?
Oh yeah, no, he was definitely on my list, but no, he's not the one I'm gonna mention. Okay, yeah, because you know what, Tyler Higby, man, he's that was more of a Sean McVay just being a great coach, where he was like, okay, we need to switch this thing to 12 personnel. And then that just gave him more opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you in that. And I also think it has something to do with taking advantage of your situation and Gerald Everett going down.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. This is accurate.
He exploded in the latter part of the season. 69 receptions, 89 targets. I mean, that's a great percentage. 734 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's great. He would not have gotten that if Gerald Everett hadn't gone down. Before Everett got hurt, I mean, Higby wasn't even being looked at.
No.
It was I think Everett averaged 31 yards on 2 point, almost 3 receptions, and then Higby was 16 point something yard, 16 yards, 16 and a half yards on 2 receptions a game. I mean, what the fuck? It's just, I'm not saying that Higby can't do something, because, I mean, he definitely gained Goff's, trust, but I don't know, man. I mean, Everett was the guy for McVay whenever he first came in. Now, you get Hurts, next man up.
Yeah, man. And I think recency bias is what a lot of fantasy enthusiasts, a lot of fantasy managers, they get blinded by recency bias because of those, like you said, those guys that picked him up off the waiver and was just they loved what he did for them, and then now they're gonna go back to the well, and I think that well might have ran dry. I 100% agree with you on him busting. You know who my guy is? It's a guy that also helped a lot of fantasy managers last year, and I'm going with Darren Waller.
Oh, how dare you!
Well, here's the thing: is Darren Waller, Waller, and I call him the big baller. You know what I mean? I love Darren Waller, but he was also a benefactor in them having nobody there. You know what I mean?
True.
There was no, Tyrell the Gazelle was hurt. You know what I mean? Even when Josh Jacobs went down, it was and then you couple that with the fact that Derek Carr, his average depth of target was where Waller lived. You know what I mean? In that 6 yard radius. You know what I mean? And so he was definitely a benefactor. But they also here's another thing too, is not only did they draft a bunch of weapons on offense, right? They drafted a bunch of weapons. But also even last year, he would get so many touchdowns snaked away from him because they would go 12 personnel on goal line packages, and that other tight end would just roll out into the flat and be wide open and just snake the touchdown. And now they brought in a guy like Jason Witten, who, who
retired.
Yeah, who retired, but Gruden, he loves these old guys. You know what I mean? He just loves. He's a grinder. You know what I mean?
He retired since then. Did you hear that?
Oh, he did. Oh, okay. So I missed that.
Yeah.
Still, though, you got the.
It wasn't a very big story.
Yeah, I mean, it came and went. But you know what though too is even they still got the island of Moreau. You know what I mean? Foster Moreau.
Yes.
You know what I
Foster
mean?
Moreau, thank you. That was one I couldn't remember his name. Good, yeah, well done.
You know what I mean? And like, but see, he is coming at a value, but I mean, I think Derek Carr, he's not far removed from 2018 where he led the league in deep ball accuracy. So it's not like he can't stretch the field. I think it was just that was part of the game, part of his game they highlighted because of the personnel they had that was healthy. So I think, I just don't see him, cracking that top 5. You know what I mean? And he's being drafted as a top 5 tight end, so that's why I put him in the bust.
Right, I get that, absolutely. As far as like the definition goes, I believe he will bust. I hate saying it because I love Darren Waller. I got him dead last season in the league.
Oh yeah, and I had a ton of Waller and Andrews last year.
Oh yeah, man,
waiting
Mark
on
Andrews,
the tight end.
Dude, that guy's a freak. Like I was really impressed with his game, with the way he played.
Yeah. I was arguing with myself whether it was Darren Waller or Austin Hooper, because Austin Hooper is a bust waiting to happen over there in Cleveland.
I'm not even gonna waste the paper on printing that shit. He's a great tight end when he has a quarterback who's worth his shit.
Yeah.
And Baker has the skills, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to be nice for once, but he's fun to watch just because you want to see what he's going to do.
Yeah,
but,
he's polarizing.
Yeah, exactly. And, you got Njoku, and everybody keeps saying, oh, well, Stefanski did it. I'm like, dude, Stefanski. Like, look at Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah, Kyle Rudolph and Irv Smith. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
he did jack shit.
Is he going to be
when he beat my fucking Saints?
Yeah, and if you morph those two guys, Irv Smith and Rudolph, into one, they were a top 5 tight end. But the fact that there are two different guys, and now he's going to bring that system over there to Cleveland, and you have Njoku and Hooper, who, you know what I'm saying, and people got to remember, they got to realize the tight end position in a dirt cutter system demands I think it's something like 17 or like 21% of the target market share or something like that. So Austin Hooper was a benefactor of that for sure. You know what I mean? And now he going over there to to Cleveland where they're going to run 12 personnel, and you have someone
a lot of each other. They can make tight ends fucking incredible.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's move on to the quarterback position, and then we'll move on to the next segment.
All right.
Yeah, so who do you got busting at the QB position?
Oh, my bad. All right, QB. My bad. You broke up just a little bit.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah.
So my QB that I've got is Ryan Tannehill.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Well, I think there's a possibility for a sophomore slump on this team.
Hold on, you cut out there again, plug. Plugga. There he is.
What's up, brother?
Oh no, my bad. You just cut out for a second there, but you back.
Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, Tannehill had so many seasons to, basically turn it up. Like, I mean, he had some decent, like Devontae Parker. I mean, that dude came on. He's definitely a good receiver. You got Preston Williams, was Preston Williams playing with him?
No, not.
No, Albert Wilson.
He had Albert Wilson. But he also had Kenny Stills. He had. Yeah, when Tannehill was there, Kenny Stills spent a little time there. Kenny Stills moved around a lot. He went from the Saints. He got traded from the Saints to the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he had a who else was over there at the
Jordan
time?
Cameron. Jordan Cameron did he go over there for a little bit? That guy was a beast.
Yep. And come on, he had Jarvis Landry. You know what I mean?
Yes, he had Jarvis Landry. He had the most what's the word I'm looking for?
Safest?
Like the best of safety blankets you can find.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, he just didn't do anything. And he's not really a bomber, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just spells shitty for fantasy, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I like a gunslinger, man, but I also love a mobile quarterback. He is neither.
Yeah, I mean, he did turn on the wheels a tad bit here and there, but I think that was more so like heads up play. You know what I mean? Like, play breaks down, he just takes off. You know what I mean? Like, and because he did have a couple of rushing touchdowns, but also too, you got to think about with Tannehill, he was playing to prove himself. and get the bag, and now he got it. I don't know if that drive is still in him. So I agree with the bust potential.
Right. Yeah, man. I just don't see. I don't know. I'm not getting any shares of Tannehill at all.
Yeah, me either.
I'm just not. You know, he could be. I could be completely wrong, but I mean, yeah, he had 4 rushing touchdowns. Great. But that could have been from. I can't remember. I didn't really pay much attention to Tannehill just because I just didn't think. I mean, good on him. I'm happy that he did well, and I'm happy that he secured that bag. But I don't have any desire of taking any Tannehill.
And one thing about Tannehill, bro, is like wildly efficient. That's gonna come down. Like efficient. Only Russell Wilson is constantly repeating efficiency. You know what I mean? On a run first team too. Like, you know, because that's what the Titans are. They're a run first team. You know what I mean? And like, you know, and yes, he's not a great field stretcher. He's gonna have to rely on the yak masters that he has, like a AJ Brown or even a Derrick Henry in that sense. Like, you put the ball in those guys' hands and they do the rest for Tannehill. And like, but yeah, I think Tannehill, I don't see him replicating what he did by any means. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts exactly.
Mine is actually in the same range. It's I'm going with and it kind of relates to my Darren Waller take. I'd say Derek Carr. Even though Derek Carr, he has the potential to be a top 12 with all these weapons, I think the moment he starts slipping up and playing bad and turning the ball over, and then if they go like you know 2-4, you know what I mean, the first 6 weeks, you know what I mean, you got someone like Mariota who Gruden thinks is a grinder, and like, you know what I mean, just bro, like
he loved him some Mariota.
He did, bro. Like, do you remember when Gruden worked for NFL Network and he did that quarterback classroom shit? He praised Mariota, and it's no coincidence. Once Mariota was available, he brought him over, and like, I just think Derek Carr is he's on the hot seat, and like, if he doesn't show and prove with all these weapons, bro, like, you know what I mean, I think he might lose his job, and that'll be, you know, that'll justify him busting.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's hard to bust though when nobody's. I mean, I've seen him go undrafted.
Yeah, that is true though. Well, I mean, we are in super flex leagues, and you know what I mean. He is, you know, that's where he comes into conversation. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
Yeah, but also too, man. Another guy is he found himself in a new place. I'd say Phillip Rivers could bust too, because being on a run first team, and let's be honest. Maybe Phillip Rivers could have been a gold medalist shot putter, because the way he throws the ball, bro. Like,
I remember when you made that comment.
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm constantly.
The ugliest release.
He does, man, and like, and another thing I always say is he has the quickest release. Like, that's why he has 8 kids. But I mean, in this case, he's gonna be full game manager. You know what I'm saying? It's full game manager mode. It's the first time he's gonna have a line that can protect him. And their schedule against the run is favorable for for those running backs. I think he's going to be a guy who maybe even throw the ball like, you know, anywhere from like 15 to 18 times a game, and you don't want that in fantasy. You know what I mean?
Right. No shit. He's definitely going to be an upgrade from Brissett.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, the meat slab, as I like to call him. You know what I'm saying? The grilled beef brisket himself. Okay, so now let's go to a fun one. You know what I'm saying? Because I know no one wants to hear bust guys especially if it's their guy, right? They're like, oh, what? You know what I mean? And I love that segment that we just did, because, you know what I'm saying, me and you, we had different opinions on guys, and that's what it's all about, Playmakers. We're not yes men. You stand by what you believe, and, you know, I mean, everything is subjective, and like, you know what I mean? We can only speak in certainty in hindsight. So, you know what I mean? And this is what we do as fantasy analysts. We find ways to diagnose situations, and, you know, and by all means, we don't have crystal balls. So, you know what I mean? Because if we did, we win every fucking week, every league, every championship. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? That's what drives us, though, is to put in the work for you Playmakers to win you some chips. So now let's go on to some players that can help you win these chips. Let's go on to some breakout candidates, man. So go ahead and pop this thing off with the receiver position.
Already, receiver position. All right, man. So I'm going with a rookie here. and it's probably not who you might think. It's not Jerry Jeudy. It's not old boy for my bad, man. Who they pick up in Dallas?
CD Lamb, the lamb
CD
chops,
Lamb,
lamb chops as I call him.
Lamb chop.
I make up nicknames for everybody.
And it isn't my guy, Henry Ruggs, because I love me some Henry Ruggs. My guy at the wide receiver is Michael Pittman Jr.
Ooh, I like this one. Okay, lay it on me.
Speaking of Philly Riv, drafted in the second round, 34th overall. You don't draft a receiver that early with Indianapolis with what they had to draft with. Without
because that was essentially their. I mean, obviously they traded out. And essentially their first round pick was Buckner. But yes, their actual first pick was Pittman. Okay, continue.
Yep. The dude was a monster in college. I mean, of course he was. Otherwise he wouldn't be in the NFL now. 11 touchdowns, 1,275 yards. They wanted to add size at receiver.
Yeah.
And this dude's got it. He's a fucking monster. I mean, he's not your boy, but he's 6'4", 223 pounds. It's pretty big. And he ran 4.52 40. I normally don't give a shit about 40 times, but when it comes to a receiver that big,
at that size, yeah.
Yeah, and and again, it goes back to my bus candidate, man. T.Y. Hilton is always fucking hurt.
Yeah.
So whether Pittman picks it up and just runs with it in the first, at the very beginning, or whether he starts in the middle of the season or whatever, he's going to get that opportunity. And I'm telling you, man,
and T.Y. Hilton is still respected, quote unquote, by defensive coordinators, so they're going to commit their number one coverage to T.Y. Hilton. So someone like Pittman, who's a beast of a receiver, is going to have secondary coverage and single coverage more often than not if they're going to be doubling or even loading the box up. You know what I mean?
Yep, that was my next point, man. Well done. Perfect.
Yeah, man.
And then he's a beast at the 50-50 ball, man. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah,
sure Michael is. Pittman Jr. 50-50. Oh, Jesus Christ!
I ain't gonna lie. I want when my Niners with our late first round pick, I wanted him, bro. We got Ayuk, and I kind of scratched my head a little bit, but Shanahan, he's the guy that'll pound the table, quote unquote, for his guy. So but man, Pittman he's the guy, bro. That's a good one, man. I like that one. Let me write that down.
Much appreciated. Write it down. Take a picture. I don't give a fuck.
Let me write this down. You know what I'm saying? So one of my breakout guys, he flashed a ton last year. I'm going with my man DJ Chark. You know what I mean?
Bro.
I think that defense is going to be trash. So there's going to be a lot of passing volume, and he showed rapport with Minshew, and DJ Chark is just I hate saying cliche takes, but fucking phenomenal, man. Like he's a beast, man. Like I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like he could run the full route tree. He's a contested catching guy, and I've seen him do it against tough coverage, and Minshew is a low key is a very accurate guy. You know what I'm saying, a passer. So I think barring any kind of injury. 16 games, I think he could finish within the top 12.
Easily. For sure, man. Eye to eye, bro. I love me some Shark. If this is one of the things that I was talking to my wife about before, God bless her, she tries to act like she loves it too, man. She loves me so much.
Love it.
I'm sitting there and I'm talking to her
That's
about
awesome,
DJ
though.
Shark. And because she mentioned him, she saw him on the top 100, and she goes, "Who is this fucking baby?" Because he looks just like a baby, bro. He's a baby-faced dude. But
yeah, he looks like a big kid.
Shark, you need to show respect. So I show her the highlights, and she goes, "Yeah, you need to grab that dude. Seriously, in your next draft, you need to grab him." I was like, "Well, I want to." Like this is how I look at Shark. When I'm coming around to my pick in the second round, if there's an Amari Cooper, an Adam Thielen, or anything like that, everybody, of course, would normally want to go for them. But if I'm looking down the list to see if Shark's still available,
you'll pull him up there.
That speaks volumes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's a beast.
And I'm like a running back heavy guy this year because I feel like there's a big drop off. And I've been even in the league. Shout out to Piggy and the whole gang, man. You know what I'm saying? We're in the Breaking the Bank expert league. And I getting Chark as my second receiver, I was floored. I was like, yes, because I waited. You know what I mean? And like, you know what's funny too about that draft, bro? Several times I'd be like, "Oh my God, my guy came off the board. Who? Oh, it was the plug again." I'm like, you got so many of the guys I was targeting, and I love. I mean, great minds think alike. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
And you actually gave me props when I drafted Chark. You were like, "Oh man, Chark."
Yeah. I was so pissed. I was like, "Shit, you got me on that one." I wanted Chark so bad, bro.
Yeah.
Like I want him so bad, but I never seem to get him in drafts because people draft. They think the way that we do, man. They're starting to see it.
Yeah, I mean, there is, it is our job to put out the content. You know what I mean? It's not like I actually have close friends of mine that they subscribe to the theory that I'm putting out content to curve them. You know what I mean? In fantasy leagues, like they're like, you just say all kind of shit that you don't believe in just so we could buy into it and you could beat us. And I'm like, yeah, I'm actually doing that. I'm like wow, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, okay. So let's go on to running back. You know what I mean? Like, so who's some breakout running backs you got for me?
All right, man. It's one of the guys that I think you were curving, man. Todd Gurley.
Ooh, hey,
man,
you know what? Todd. I mean, before you go on with your take, Todd. I'm not necessarily curving him more so because of his skill set. It's just the longevity. You know what I mean? Like because of the injury. But man, he is religiously gonna see 6-man boxes.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It's with Julio, Calvin Ridley, Gage. I mean, dude. Now Hayden Hurst.
Yeah. Hayden Hurst Helmsley, as I like to call him.
Yeah, buddy.
You know what I mean?
Dude, I had somebody come up to me at a Waffle House here and ask if I was Triple H. I was like, dude, are you either saying I look big or I look old? One of the two. And
your schnoz is nowhere near Triple H.
Looks like a Muppet.
Triple H is a nose with arms and legs. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man, it's all that growth. So allegedly. So,
yeah, for real though.
With Gurley, just like you're saying, longevity. We just need a season. That's all we need.
Yeah, that's all we need.
It sounds terrible, but it's true. But I mean, he's gonna get so much opportunity. He's got nobody to fight for that position.
He's a double-digit touchdown motherfucker waiting to happen. I'll tell you that.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every season. Even with the shitty season where McVay just decided
touchdowns?
to be an ass, he had 12 touchdowns. 12 touchdowns on the ground and then 2 touchdowns in the air. He had 14 total touchdowns. That's crazy.
In a quote-unquote bad Gurley year.
Mm-hmm.
And that line in Atlanta, statistically is better than the Rams line. It's probably going to be one of the best lines that he's ran behind in his career.
Right. He had Whitworth.
Yeah,
that's it.
And yeah, for real. And now Whitworth in the past year, you see his age catching up to him because he is 38 years old. You know what I mean? I mean, when he went over there, he was 36 years old, and you've seen a lot of his big plays were to the left side of that field. You know what I mean? But now you got a line with Alex Mack and company, all first rounders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bro, that whole offense is all first rounders. Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, that entire line, Todd Gurley, Hayden Hurst Helmsley, they're all former first rounders. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that team's going to be something. And I being in Atlanta, the fans here are crazy. Shout out Atlanta fans.
Big up to the Dirty Birds.
Yeah, I'm saying rise up or whatever the fuck. But they
I forgot you're a Saints fan. You're like,
great. they've got a great team. They better do something with it, otherwise, I mean, shit. They just got to get their defense right. That's all. But Gurley, last thing on him, he passed his physical with flying colors. I've been watching him on YouTube playing ball with Cam Newton and Quavo and Offset and all this shit. And he's a fucking bully, bro. He's killing folks. He's moving around, cutting and dribbling. I mean, dude, he's killing it. You want to see if a football player can get out on the field and make cuts and jump and move, and how his quote unquote arthritic knees and everything are handling. Have him jump up and down and catch rebounds and dunk and shit, and see how he looks. Boy, would look good, man. He was balling. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him play. I hope he balls out. I mean, he seems like a really good dude too. So I love that. If the guy's a good guy,
and he has a great intangible. It's a homecoming. I love that.
Oh yeah. That's always awesome, man.
You know what?
Coming back to the A.
I'm gonna write this down. Todd Gurley, don't curve. Let me write that down. You know what I'm saying? Because you are an athlete as well, and like that's I tend to listen more to people that are actual athletes to know like you're paying attention to how he cuts on film and because I think I think the Rams putting bubble wrap on him that might have been their big mistake last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. They were trying to cover their ass whenever it came to their asset. So
yeah. Okay, so a breakout running back I got is it's kind of a cheat code because of Damian Williams decided to opt out, but I'm going with my man Clyde Edwards-Hilaire, the Fresh Prince of Hilaire.
Yeah, Hilaire.
You know what I'm saying? In Kansas City, born and raised on a football field is where he plays. You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn, the Clyde Edwards-Hilaire, man. Like another guy who's gonna see 6-man boxes religiously, and he's he comps to MJD. He comps to Westbrook. He's with Andy Reid, who we've seen in recent history, be able to produce with guys like a Damian Williams or even the aforementioned Kareem Hunt. Bro, like CEH, like he has all the opportunity to bust out this year in a real way.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you there, man. I've been a Hilaire truther since he got drafted.
That's right. You're a Tiger too.
Oh yeah, go Tigers, baby, go Tigers.
That's right. I love it. Okay. So let's you know what? I think all the talk recently has been CEH, so we might not need to elaborate on him too much. So let's go ahead move on to the tight end position.
Oh yeah, man. Somebody we had just recently talked about. I've got one that I'll say after you tell yours after I'm done with this one because you might say who I like my runner up, but it'll literally be just a name and I'll let it go because who that is, you'll understand. Hayden Hurst is my guy.
Ooh, that's my guy. Hayden Hurst Helmsley. Love it.
Is it real?
That's another guy during the draft, when I picked him up, you were like, ooh, Hayden Hurst.
Dude, god damn it. Yeah, whenever you picked him up, I was like, son of a bitch. I cannot.
Great minds think alike, bro. I love Hayden Hurst Helmsley.
I cannot seem to get any shares of Hayden Hurst anywhere because I hope that he'll make it back around to me. But by the time I'm like, man, should I pick up a tight end right now? I want to wait a little bit because it's deep. And then, boom, somebody grabs him. I'm like, son of a bitch.
You know what I've been doing? So I do often at least subscribe to the late tight end theory, right? Like I'll wait, and like that's why I had a ton of Waller and Mark Andrews last season. And in this case, the two guys I've been targeting, because I will hold two tight ends just to see who pans out, and if they both pan out, I have trade bait. You know what I mean? But in this case, my guy, since you went with Triple H, I'm going with Jonnu Smith, another guy I drafted in that same league. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Because I think there's no more Delaney Walker. Obviously, he was there last year, but then then he was gone, and then we've seen what Jonnu Smith can do. He's another one of those yak guys, you know what I mean? And that's what we're gonna need with Tannehill, because he's not the greatest field stretcher by any means. And you know what I'm saying? It's and I feel like the fact that they do, and he's a fairly good blocker too, so he's gonna be out there on a lot of those goal line packages. And any tight end, that's what you want. You want them, their snap count to be high, so they have opportunity to help you in fantasy. And in this case, Jonnu Smith. You know what I mean? So
100%.
Yeah. So who was your honorable mention?
Jack Doyle.
Ooh, I love that one. You know why too? Because Frank Reich, coming from he's part of that Andy Reid coaching family tree, and bro, that in any of those systems, you know what I'm saying? The tight end's gonna demand like 20% of the target market share. And who do they got over there? Trey Burton. You know what I'm saying? They got that's it's Jack Doyle's. It's Jack Doyle all day. And Phillip Rivers historically loves his tight end. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. He's just like Matt Ryan, but Phillip Rivers is the type of dude who can make what's the word I'm looking for? Hall of Fame tight ends. Look at Antonio Gates.
Oh yeah.
Look at Hunter Henry started blowing up. I mean, he can absolutely do it. Sorry, man, I just had to open my door. My little dog Cam had to come in here and eat some food. Is Cam named after Cam Jordan? Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Cam. Shout out to Cam Jordan. You feel me? You know what I mean? Man, Cam Jordan's the guy. You know what I mean?
He's dope.
Also, one thing I wanted to touch on with Hayden, Hurst, Helmsley is that like that dirt cutter. I mean, I know it's one of those ones that like we obviously haven't seen it with the Falcons, right? But he's super athletic. Great route running. He's a great blocker, and being in that dirt cutter system. I mean, we can go all the way back to like O.J. Howard or Austin Seferian-Jenkins or Cameron Brate, or even, Dirk Cutter's first go around with the Falcons and he had Hall of Fame, oh my God, help me out here. Hall of Fame tight end, Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, but it was like, Gonzalez shined in that system because Dirk Cutter's system highlights the tight end. And I mean, it's no surprise that once you had a Bruce Arians over there in Tampa Bay, O.J. Howard, he ate shit because that he's not a system fit. So in this case, you bring over someone like Hayden Hurst, who you and I think can break out. I mean, look at Austin Hooper. He was one of my breakout candidates last season because of the fact that Dirk Cutter went over there. You know what I mean? And
right.
Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even on Austin Hooper this year because he's not in that same system no more. You know what I mean? But okay, so let's talk about some breakout QBs.
All right. Let's see. I got for my QB breakout. Where to go? Oh, Big Ben.
Oh, I love it because I mean, obviously we know what Big Ben is and was, but yes, I agree because no one's on him. People were scorned by him. You know what I mean? I just did an episode on bounce back candidates, and Juju was one of mine because, he has Big Ben back. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man. I thought about Juju as one of mine for the receiver, but with Ben on the field, that offense is completely different.
Oh yeah, and
it's incredible.
And that defense is going to get turnovers, going to put them in a lot of great field position. You know what I mean? And Big Ben is the value. I mean, as long as that Tommy John, you know what I'm saying, doesn't affect him, because one thing I did, I had to do my research on Tommy John, and like it's like a pitcher's injury, and a lot of pitchers they don't come back 100% till like a full calendar year. But hey, what do you know? It's a full calendar year. You know what I mean? Yeah. Basically from his injury. So you know what I mean? And he can't. From everything I read, he was always a step ahead of recovery. Like, Big Ben, even at his age, healing was on his side. He was like a regular Wolverine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
You're absolutely. It's him and Drew Brees, man. I don't know what it is, but they definitely put in the work. You ever realize how much Ben Roethlisberger looks like Will Ferrell?
He sure does. He sure as much as Jared Goff looks like Ryan Gosling, goddamn Ben Roethlisberger looks like Will Ferrell. You know what, bro? Have you ever seen him in the same place at the same time? He might be Will Ferrell.
Dude, no lie. They both have the fucked up nose. They both have that curly fro.
Mm-hmm. Bro, that's hilarious. I never realized that till you said it.
Bro, seriously. Now that's all you're gonna see every time you see them.
For
They're
real,
both the same height. They're like 6'3", 6'4". Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Telling you, man.
That's all I see now, for real. Oh, that's so great. All right, so here's mine. It's a motherfucker that I was really upset when you drafted him in that super flex league we're in. It's my man Gardner Minshew the Ginsu.
Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico, that's so great. Oh, bro, he looks like, you know who he looks like to me? He looks like Ben Stiller in Dodgeball. That's
yeah, no shit.
Oh shit! This is my associate Michelle. You know what I mean? But yeah, no.
My consigliere.
Yeah, my consigliere. He's Gardner Minshew. 12 starts. 3,200 passing yards. You know what I'm saying? 344, I think, on the ground, if I remember correctly. 21 passing TDs. You know what I'm saying? Bro, like, and then you couple that with the fact that it's a bad defense, and you're bringing over Jay Gruden. You know what I mean? And I mean, you know, what's his name? Kirk Cousins, my man, Corky Kirk. You know, he averaged 4 rushing touchdowns a year with Jay Gruden, and you know what I'm saying. I mean, granted, Minshew didn't rushing any touchdowns last season, but he had the 340 on the ground.
Yeah,
if I remember,
he moved.
Yeah, bro. And then you know, when I started looking into Minshew, I didn't realize he was 5th in the Heisman coming out of college. Like he rushes that thing. You know what I'm saying? And then
that's crazy. I didn't even know that until you just mentioned
bro,
it. I pride myself on that type of stuff. Very well done.
If you were to 16 game pace him last year, right? He would have had 42 hundo through the air. 29 passing touchdowns and like 580 on the ground, and it's like, and that would have been better than Kyler Murray. You know what I mean?
That's top 10, close to top 5.
Yeah,
numbers, so that's elite.
Yeah, and so I'm not saying this is a reality take by any means, but in fantasy, you know what I mean?
Strong as hell.
Yeah. And I'm still upset that you got him, man. You're probably gonna get trade offers throughout the year. You know what I mean? I'm
That's
gonna wait.
Cool, man. I field trades, man. I love me some trades.
Oh yeah. Hey, real quick, have you been getting shitty trade offers since this thing started? Because I've been getting a ton of them.
It's ridiculous, bro. Like, what was crazy to me is, like, as soon as the fucking draft was, like, during the draft, people were trading. I'm like, what the bro, what are y'all doing?
I'm like, let this thing play out first. Let's see something.
Trades.
Yeah, I was
Mark
getting
Ingram for Alvin Kamara. I'm like, what the fuck?
Bro, listen, the junkie is aiming high. The junkie, he tried to ask. He sent me Mark Ingram and Damian Williams for Mixon and Montgomery. I was like, so you want me to give you my 2nd and 4th pick for your late mid-round guys? I'm like, come on.
You miss all the shots you don't take, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that is true. I like that. Hey, you know what, though, too? That's also, you know, considering that, like, you know, a lot of us are getting to know each other in this sense. That's kind of how you feel, you know, you feel those offers to see who's stupid or not. You know what I mean? So I respect I respect the junkie for that. You know what I mean? But
hell yeah, man, I respect the grind. You never know. Somebody might bite. And, you know, even if it's a shitty trade, you look at it and you're like, God damn it, man. Why? Nobody wants to trade me, even though they offer it. And you're just like, man, fuck that trade.
Yeah. And then you never know, too, because only hindsight's 2020. I mean, granted, you know what I mean? You know, Damian Williams ended up opting out, so it's like, you know, he's in a you know, a little tough position there. You know, the junkie that is, you know what I'm saying. But hey, I admire my hats off to him. I admire because he's been sending that Mark Ingram trade everywhere. Like,
oh yeah, man.
Yeah, he's
trying to get rid of Mark Ingram like a bad rash, bro. Like, it's crazy. It's going everywhere.
Yeah, man. I mean, and you know what, too, Ingram. If Ingram wasn't on the leading rushing team, I would have had him as one of my bust guys because, like, Mark Ingram, he only had 1 game over 13 carries, and that touchdown total is gonna regress. Like, there's no way around it.
Right.
And then you couple that with the fact J.K. Dobbins is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody is really high on J.K. Dobbins, man. I was talking to Adam Rank the other day, and he was actually saying that J.K. Dobbins, because one of the things I asked him was about, like, what he thought about any rookie running backs, and he said J.K. Dobbins is probably going to be the top one, and I'm like, dude, I mean, yeah, that's really spelling Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
But Ingram, if Ingram gets hurt, absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
I can totally see Dobbins going ham, but Ingram's got to get hurt.
And they were the leading rushing team for a reason because they used everybody situationally. So, for example, not only did you have, you know, 1,200 yards from their quarterback, but, you know, if they were winning games mid-4th quarter, it's the Gus bus. You know what I mean? He's chewing that clock up. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I was crazy on Justice Hill last season, and instead of getting Mark Ingram, I was like, I'll just wait, and with my last pick, I'll go get Justice Hill, and that didn't work out. So it's like, and you know, J.K. Dobbins, his skill set and his talent, it puts him up there in the, you know, like the 8th, 9th round in 12-team redraft, like single QB at least. In this case, it was a super flex league. He was in the double digits, but damn, like, you really got to wait for Mark Ingram and his old ass to finally fall off because they're still going to, you know, he's still going to get the valuable touches, like the goal line shits, you know what I mean? In the 20s, that, you know, he's going to be out there on the field. Like, it's just one of those things, man. Like it's gonna take Mark Ingram, and he does have an injury history, but yeah, it's really gonna take Mark Ingram to get out the way because as young as John Harbaugh is, he's still old school minded. He's gonna make this rookie earn it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think Dobbins is probably going to be, besides off the field stuff, I think he's going to be considered like the next Ray Rice as soon as they give him that ball.
Yeah,
he's gonna remember how cold Ray Rice was.
Fuck
man.
Yeah.
He was a beast.
Hell yeah.
And as soon come next season. When Ingram's not, I don't think Ingram's going to be there. He's got 2 years, but I don't think he's going to be there next
Great
season.
dynasty pickup for sure. Like hell of a dynasty. If you can't get
100%.
Clyde, I would totally look at JK in dynasty.
100%.
Yeah.
And one more thing, like not trying to name drop. This one thing I hate about name dropping is just Adam.
Listen,
Rank
Plug.
told me,
I admire that you're able. I mean, you are the plug, bro. You got everything on deck, and it doesn't even. I bet you 100 million people ask you, "How did you do that? How did you get him on?" And isn't that right? I don't even ask because I'm like, "Yo, he's the plug, bro." Like this, you know what I mean?
No, man, I just take those shots, man. But no, he did this joke yesterday. This is the thing. Whenever he said, I can't remember who it was, but some big name, Jay Moore. Big comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, the one thing I learned from Jay Moore is to, just don't name drop. And that was a funny joke. Like I was trying to be like, one thing Adam Rank told me was, don't name drop. But, he told me he was saying that from what he's seen, the NFL analyst is sitting here telling me is that draft, if you can get him at a decent draft spot, J.K. Dobbins is worth grabbing even in redraft leagues right now because he believes, from what he's heard, Dobbins is going to be used on that field quite a bit. And the way that dude runs and the way that they play, he's going to be a solid pickup, and he'll be a starter. He'll easily be a flex.
I subscribe to that theory because J.K. Dobbins is one of those guys I constantly target, and I can never acquire him. Because people are pulling them up a little earlier than I would like, but maybe I need to reach around earlier, maybe in that sense. If I do want to, because when you look at guys like that, especially rookie running backs, these guys could be league winners. You know what I mean? If you could 100%. be patient, like in this case, look at the hype was so crazy on the Fresh Prince of Hilaire, right? And he was in the, I'm in the. You know what's funny too is like I make up a lot of my nicknames. I think I might have adopted that one somewhere. It was just such a good one. I was like, I'm rocking with that. You know what I mean?
Hey man, you're the first person I heard it from, so you're good.
You know what I'm saying? Your version's better. I like it. You know what I mean? But so with the Fresh Prince, the hype was so crazy that like when he's going in the second round in single QB redraft leagues, but in the super flex. When he was there at 3.9, I had to pull the trigger. And then I got some good old-fashioned luck where, Damian Williams, he decided to opt out. So I was like, wow, I got a guy right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you did. I can't imagine how many trades you're probably fielding.
Bro, I got a gang of them. Like literally like 10 minutes after. I even like I didn't want to be arrogant, and I hope I didn't curse myself because I believe in fantasy karma. I jumped in our thread in our group chat, and I was like, Damian Williams opted out, and I just dropped the mic. You know what I mean? Because I was getting, they were poorly grading. Everything is subjective, and like there was either people saying they loved my squad or they hated it. You know what I mean? And it was just like. But Clyde Edwards-Hilaire, that kind of that raises now I feel like my team could strike some fear because that's another thing too.
You want to have a full letter grade right there.
Yo, for sure. You know what I mean? I went from C to B. Or maybe even from some people were even giving me a D because of my QBs. But it's like, yo, if my QBs can hit, and in a super flex too, playmakers in a super flex league. You know what I mean? I definitely say don't try not to wait on QBs. I mean, like you got Breeze, and then you got a guy early, and then you got a guy later. And like I just followed my rankings, and when all my guys were flying off the board, I was like, I actually happen to have Cam as my 12th QB this year, so I was like, well, at least I can get one of my guys in the top 12. And then that immediately made everybody, all kind of eyes emojis, like, whoa, Cam Newton, and I'm like, well, remember Tim Tebow with McDaniels. You know what I mean? Like there's
yeah.
or even Jacoby the grilled beef brisket, the meat slab himself. The one start he had against the Texans, you know, when Brady was suspended, he ran all over them boys. You know what I mean? He even ran one in. So there is a mobile QB playbook for Superman. So I hope it pans out for me because I'm trying to make noise in this league. You know what I mean?
I think it will. I think that Cam pick definitely will, man. I really do.
I hope so, man. All right, so now, that we closed that segment up, huh? Hell, look at us, we killing it.
We got through it.
Yeah. Okay, so we got two more questions. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and I really appreciate your time. And like, obviously, I'm gonna put this one in its entirety on YouTube, and then. You know, we are Playmakers. I forgot to mention this. We are available on all streaming platforms, and they only let us have goddamn 250 megabytes. So I will be splitting this into two because this is one that needs to be everywhere. You know what I mean? This episode was fucking phenomenal.
I appreciate you, man.
Like, bro, I had a hell of an episode with the Heart to Start guys last night, and I said the same thing. I was like, I'm splitting this into two. There's no way I'm not putting this on every avenue I can. You know,
I can't wait to hear that one.
That one's so little spoiler alert for you because obviously that episode will be out tomorrow morning, but it's player versus player. So you know what I mean, I would so for example, it was like I put those guys I mentioned earlier, Todd Gurley versus Lev Bell versus DJ. You know what I mean? And then you would say. You know, with the player you liked, and you would say, "Give me money." So like Todd Gurley, give me money. You know what I mean? Like, and then it would
I like that.
You would elaborate. You know what I mean? And I carefully combinated these players because these are players that, like for example, Cooper Kupp or Amari Cooper, or Hollywood Brown versus Brandon Cooks, because these are guys that you're kind of grouped in ADP, where like you're making these actual decisions in drafts. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, so. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about some Saints, man. You hail from the Big Easy. Let's talk,
baby.
Let's talk some Who Dat Nation. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, 1 second. Hold on.
Do you think?
Give me Who Dat, babe. Give me Who Dat. Say it, babe. I'm trying to get Mrs. Plug to give a Who Dat. Never mind, my bad.
It's all. You know what I'm saying? Hey, make Cam go ahead and bark or something. You know, like go ahead and tell Cam to give us a couple barks. You know what I'm saying? No, but. Yeah, man, you know what? So, I hated to see him go because I actually appreciated him, and he is a regular Wolverine himself coming off that Achilles, but Manuel Sanders, the Colonel himself, heir to the KFC empire, Manny Sanders himself, is he fantasy relevant over there with the Saints this year? Or is he more of a reality guy?
No, 100% fantasy relevant, man.
Ooh,
seriously,
okay.
He will definitely be worth a wide receiver 3 pickup.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, he's gonna be one of those cats that I have on my team that I'm gonna be.
I can see him over 75, 80 balls.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, man, easily. With Drew Brees throwing and as accurate as he is, this is gonna be the most accurate. Oh well, no, he played with Peyton Manning, so I mean. It's going to be pretty close to that, I believe. I mean, granted, he was the number one.
Coming from Jimmy G, yes. I mean, we've seen Jimmy G overthrow the fuck out of him in the Super Bowl. So he's definitely going to one of the most accurate quarterbacks for sure.
Yes. And
shout out to my Niners.
Breeze is going to definitely feed him. And I think with Mike Thomas on the other side of the field, I mean, there was nobody like, no offense to the Niners. I mean, you got George Kittle who. Jesus Christ. But as far as receivers go, you didn't really have anybody.
No, we didn't. I mean,
fading anything from Emmanuel Sanders. Here you got Mike Thomas, you got Kamara, you got Cooks.
You got the field stretcher with my man Smith, Traquan.
Smith.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think Manny Sanders is definitely going to be somebody worth a pickup. I'm thinking, like last season he had 869 yards, 5 touchdowns. I'm thinking he's going to be a hair over 900 yards, probably 9.5, 950. And I think he'll probably have 6-7 touchdowns pretty easily. But the thing is he's going to be, he was targeted 97 times last season. He caught 66. I think he's going to I'd give him a good 80 catches, maybe a little bit, maybe between 80 and 90 catches. That's kind of the range
I project him to, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's going to be solid, man, with the Saints. And, I mean, they love him. Breeze loves him. He loves Breeze. I think it's going to be a match made in heaven for him. I love Emmanuel Sanders, and when I saw that he went over there, bro, like you can't ask for a better number 2 receiver.
I mean, so here's an ignorant Bogart take. Being the heir to the KFC empire, he's going over there in Popeyesville. You know what I mean? He got something to prove. You know what I mean? He's like, we got the best chicken. God damn it! You know what I mean? Hey, but Popeyes give me money. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Hey, Popeyes is a joint.
Popeyes give me money. You can't fuck with Popeyes.
Oh,
bro.
you can't. You know what I'm saying? But okay, so let me ask you a question. You know, being a Frankenstein owner, and by the way, that's my nickname for Michael Thomas, because have you seen his head? He has the tallest head in the game. You know what I'm saying? So
he looked like Gumby, bro.
I like that.
He looked like Gumby. My wife said he looks like Gumby.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah,
Gumby,
like an Easter Island head. He looks like Gumby, bro.
Hey, shout out to Gumby, man. You're part of my childhood, man. You and Pokey.
Man.
Yeah, shout out to you and Pokey, man. Friends of the show. But Frankenstein, man, do you think he eats into his slot production at all? Because Thomas, he's a murderer out of that slot.
Oh yeah, man. One of the shittiest arguments against Mike Thomas is, he runs slants. Miss me with that bullshit.
Yeah,
like,
that's just smart coaching. That's smart coaching.
Who cares where he runs? Who cares where he catches the ball? The motherfucker produces.
He is hands down the best in the game right now. Matter of fact,
100%.
what is Frankenstein? Frankenstein is a guy. He's a monster that they compiled. He had different parts from different motherfuckers, right? He literally has he probably has the brain of Jerry Rice. He has one of his legs is from Keyshawn Johnson. You know,
the hands of Chris Carter.
The hands of Chris Carter. You know what I mean? He's a monster,
running
bro.
of Larry Fitzgerald.
There it is. You know what I mean?
That's the perfect receiver.
he's Frankenstein, bro. You know what I mean?
The jump ball, the jump ball skills of Randy Moss. Disgusting.
Talk that shit. I love Michael Thomas, bro.
I think,
he's like Michael Thomas. I remember when I first seen him his rookie year, I was like, next season, I have Michael Thomas everywhere, and I'm pulling him up in that early second round. I was like, he's like, Drew Brees hasn't had something like that since Marcus Colson, and he's like Marcus Colson on crack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Like on roids.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that Sanders will, take a little bit out of the slot, but I don't think he's going to be much. I really don't. I mean, having somebody like Sanders on the field is going to take something away from everybody, of course. But
yeah,
I don't. This whole regression bullshit, like that's like a big argument for some people. I don't. Everybody's going to have a little bit of regression, but I mean, I'll take a regression from a guy who plays like that.
And at the value, we're talking double digits. You know what I mean? We're talking. We're like. Yeah, he's going to like the 12th, 13th round, and you're getting a piece of Drew Brees. He's almost as disrespected as much as Jared Cook is. Like, Jared Cook is a late round tight end this year.
Yeah, I know. That's insane to me.
It really is. Like, I mean, having a piece of Drew Brees and like with all those weapons, like you just mentioned, like even look at last season, even without Sanders, with all those weapons, Jared Cook would just be unaccounted for half the time.
Yeah, no shit. I think Jared Cook is going to be another guy who's just, like you said, just being totally disrespected. He's going to be a beast this season, I think. Like, especially getting all the trust of Breeze now.
Oh yeah.
And we saw what Jimmy Graham did.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Jimmy Graham, man, and aside from like one double-digit touchdown season with the Seahawks, Jimmy Graham ain't done shit since Breeze. You know what I mean?
He fell off big time.
Big time.
He's with the Bears now, right?
Yeah, with the Bears and they have like 10 tight ends, bro. They have all the tight ends. They're like, I don't know. and it does make sense though, because Ryan Pace is there. He's the guy that drafted Jimmy Graham.
Right.
Was it Ryan Pace? Ryan Pace was there with the Saints, right, when they drafted him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
he was.
Yeah, so that's like throwing him a bone. That's like Brashad Perryman ending up with the Jets, where it's like Joe Douglas was, hey man, I remember you when we were with Baltimore. Come on over here now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so now I hate to see him go because he's also one of my favorite players. Drew Brees, man. It is his swan song year. He already said it. He got the job. He's gonna go from the field to the booth. When he leaves, man, do you guys have his predecessor on the roster already? Like, you know, with Taysom Hill and my man Infamous Winston, as I like to call him. I don't call him Famous Jameis. I call him Infamous Winston.
It's all 30 for 30.
Oh yeah, that's even better. He's the president of the Pick Six Club.
I think so. I think we do have the predecessor, and I do not think it's Taysom Hill. I think it's Jameis Winston. Yes, I do. I love Taysom Hill. He's a blast to watch. He is the one guy you can put anywhere on the field.
And he's the snake of all snakes in fantasy. He just steals away goal line carries from Kamara, or he steals a touchdown pass from, or even if you're a Drew Brees owner and you're like, damn it, why is Taysom Hill over there in the goal line package under center?
Yeah, no shit. Tell me about it. I've actually had that issue with him multiple times last season on multiple leagues. But
for real.
He's incredible. I think it would be a blast to have him as a quarterback, but I much prefer Jameis to him because, look, with the tutelage of Breeze and Payton,
Sean Payton. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean and the thing is the guy took a serious pay cut to go learn from them. I mean that shows huge maturity.
Yeah.
And
hold on real quick, my bad, because I've had a few beers now, so I'm feeling good. I'm going to cut you off, but I'll name drop for you. He also did plug the fantasy plug not too long ago. That's fucking awesome.
I know.
Yeah, continue.
I know. I really believe that Jameis is going to be the predecessor, just because he's a great quarterback. I mean, he won the Heisman for a reason.
For a reason. Yeah.
He was drafted first for a reason. I mean, the guy, he was drafted first, wasn't he? Wasn't he first overall?
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure
I thought so.
Yeah.
And he's definitely that guy. And once he's in a specific situation, I think he'll shine, especially with the maturity of Sean Payton and Drew Brees going after him and talking to him and teaching him everything. I see the sky's the limit for this kid. And I mean, look at his season last season, all right? Yeah, he had 33 touchdowns, 30 interceptions.
Yeah.
However, he threw the most yards completed in the NFL.
And it was a good thing that he had a guy like Bruce Arians, because Bruce Arians, he'll be like, go back in there, Jack. Like, he wouldn't bench him like Dirk Cutter did all those times and gave him a spanking. Like, it was like, and he showed and proved, like, he made some bad decisions on, repeatedly. But I had a ton of Jameis. I had a ton of Jameis last season, and I loved him. Like
hell yeah.
I loved, when he threw a pick six, I'll jump out my seat. Whoa! Because that's you love that for fantasy. I'm like, oh yeah, we're in the hole now. Let's go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I for fantasy. But yes, but now that he gets to sit behind a master of the craft, the Drew Brees, sit behind a master of the craft, with a head coach like, with Payton, you know what I mean? Just chewing that gum, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, juicy fruit.
Juicy fruit all day. Juicy fruit, give me money. You know what I mean? And just, Brody, like, I love that because a lot of people, I've talked to several Saints fans, and they subscribe to the goddamn Taysom Hill, and I'm like, no. They brought in Jameis for a reason. You know what I mean? Like,
look, shout out to Saints fans, who dat, all that. But the thing is they are loyal to a fault. Taysom Hill's been there longer, and they love the idea of seeing him play. But the thing is with Saints fans, they get blinded by flashy, pretty shit.
Yeah. And he does some flashy shit.
Oh, yeah, man.
Like in the playoff game, in that last playoff game, like, that splash play, what was it, to Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah, one
of the 3 passes he completed.
Yeah, in his career.
I'm saying, man. I mean, I don't know, man. I've got to see more passing from Taysom Hill before I can really accept, like, oh, yeah, I want him as my starting quarterback. Now, before Jameis came, I will admit, I was one of those guys who was like, oh, man, I would love to see him get that job. But then I started looking back at the tape and seeing his yardage and stuff. I need to see more accuracy. I need to see more throwing. Now, the dude can definitely gain yards, and people have a really hard time taking him down.
Yeah.
So if he decided to run, awesome. But if you look at back whenever he was with Brigham Young, like back in college, he got hurt, and I mean hurt bad.
Yeah, because of his style of play too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And this is the NFL, man. I mean, it's a different style of play, and he's proven that he can take a hit, but all it takes is that one, and it's just another injury like that is a lot more susceptible because of the way he plays. Jameis has actually gotten a lot smarter as he's played, and again, like I stated, going back to that Drew Brees and Sean Payton, they're gonna teach this kid, and if they can get him the contract that they're gonna require, then I think sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, because after this is gonna be a telling offseason after this year for the Saints, because Kamara wants money, right? And he wants like CMC money, and I think he deserves it. You know what I mean? And if he shows out this year, they're gonna have to do it. And like, if they can get a team friendly contract out of Jameis Winston, you know what I mean? Because we already seen someone like Taysom Hill come out and demand money. Remember that? Mm-hmm. It was like, come on, bro. Like, you know what I mean? You're a Swiss Army knife. You know what I mean? Like, but okay. So let me ask you a question about Taysom Hill. Do you think in Sean Payton's mind he'll look at the way the league is right now with the mobile QBs that he might want to fight fire with fire and maybe look towards Taysom Hill being the predecessor? Do you think that's in his thought process at all?
No, I think Sean Payton is one. Yeah. I think Sean Payton is one of those guys who goes a little bit more against the grain. He's like he goes with what he believes. Like he's like
everybody's chewing Doublemint. Give me juicy fruit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he sees Taysom, and he's one of those guys who's loyal to the guys who've been with him the whole time.
Right.
But so he wants to keep him there, but he's also about winning. And I don't think that he believes that as like right off the bat Hill can win himself. Otherwise he wouldn't have brought Jameis Winston.
Yeah, and like they have a close they paid a lot of attention to Jameis over the years because they played against him twice a year. So it ain't and he, Jameis, there was rumors about Pittsburgh or rumors about, LA Chargers, and like it was like, he chose to go to the Saints when they came knocking. You know what I mean?
And they paid him, and admittedly so, man, they paid him a lot less than what he was being offered elsewhere.
Yeah.
He believes in Sean Payton and respects Drew Brees, and Drew Brees respects him too. And the thing is with Jameis Winston, he's mobile as hell too.
For sure.
Out of the pocket.
I mean, Heisman, bro.
Yeah, man, he scrambles. He scrambles really well. Now, as far as running like a Cam Newton or something like that, or Taysom, he doesn't run north-south. He's an east-west kind of guy getting out of tackles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jameis Winston all day.
Yeah, man, I like that, man. Well, shit, man, Plug, I feel like I could talk to you for hours, bro, but you know what I mean? I know.
Me too, buddy.
And I appreciate you coming on to the show. This is definitely the beginning, man. You know what I'm saying? I could already, you know what? I was lying. I do have a crystal ball. I'm looking in it. I see us doing this thing again in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, man. And before we close this thing out, man, go ahead and let them know one more time for the Playmakers where they can find you and your podcast.
Oh, man, you can find me on iTunes, Spotify, basically any place you can listen to podcasts. The Fantasy Football Plug. You'll see the logo, big top hat, the beard. It's me. On Instagram, the FF Plug. Let's see, YouTube. Just started throwing the interviews on YouTube. I'm still working on that, getting an entrance video and all that stuff made up right now. So be patient. It'll get better. But you can check me out on there if you don't mind subscribing. I never thought I would say these words. Hit the like button. Hit the notification bell.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so crazy. I used to clown that type of shit.
Hey, man, me too, man. Me too. But you know what, though? It's got to be a part of your wheelhouse now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. But, again, shout out to the love of my life, Mrs. Plug, for backing me with all this stuff and supporting it. So,
yeah, man, shout out to her,
Instagram,
man.
YouTube, all that.
Yeah, shout out to Mrs. Plug, because, you know what I'm saying, like, she actually, I love that in the origin story you did highlight that she was, she was the motivating force, you know what I mean, that pushed you to do this. And I actually thank her, because the fantasy industry needs the plug. You know what I mean? The fantasy industry is the outlet, and you can't have an outlet without the plug. You know what I mean?
That's what I like that, man.
I just made it up. You know what I mean?
You are a wordsmith, sir.
Hey,
well done.
I am a lyricist, so I do this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you do. It's dope too. I see those. Well done, man.
Yeah, appreciate
you. Kill it.
Hey, man, thanks again. And Playmakers, you know what time it is. Go ahead and subscribe to the GMM Network on YouTube. Be sure to spike that like, hit that notification bell, drop a comment, and you know what I'm saying? You can find us on all streaming platforms at The Real Fantasy Playmakers. Hey, man, all love. You know what I'm saying? And hey, how about this, man? I'll see you in the chip. You know what I'm talking about? And we're in multiple leagues too, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to war, my friend. I love it.
That's what's up, dude.
That's
awesome. I love it.
Yeah, for sure, my brother. You take it easy, man. Be safe. You know what I'm saying? Close them deals. You know what I mean? Keep on plugging away, man.
I appreciate you, man. The honor was mine, dude. Thank you so much for having me on, man. I appreciate you.
Man, it was a pleasure, bro. Appreciate you. All right, peace.
All right,
and that was my guy, Plugga.